The sky over Seoul turned dark at 3 in the afternoon. It was not clouds that blocked the sun. It was something much bigger. Something that did not belong to Earth. People on the street stopped walking. They looked up. Their phones fell from their hands. Above the city, a massive ship floated in the sky. It was bigger than any building. Its surface was black like midnight with strange lights running across it like veins. The ship made no sound, but everyone could feel it. A pressure in the air, a heaviness in their chests. Then the ship opened. A beam of light shot down to the ground, bright and blinding. When the light faded, they were there. The aliens, there were 12 of them. Each one stood at least 3 meters tall. Their skin looked like red scales, hard and thick like armor. They had 4 arms, each ending in sharp claws. Their faces were long with yellow eyes that glowed in the afternoon darkness. These were the Voktar, warriors of the Galactic Council. They came to planets like Earth with one simple message: submit or die. The leader of the group was named Raxel. He had fought in more battles than he could count. He had stood on 17 different planets and watched their people kneel before him. Some knelt because they were smart. Others knelt after they saw their cities burn. But they all knelt eventually. That was the way of things in the galaxy. The strong ruled. The weak obeyed. Raxel looked around at the human city. Small buildings. Primitive technology. Weak creatures running away in fear. He had seen it all before. This would be easy. The streets cleared fast. Humans ran into buildings, hid in shops, drove their vehicles away as fast as they could. Sirens blared across the city. Raxel smiled. Fear was good. Fear made things simple. But then he saw something strange. One human was not running. One human was walking toward them. It was a boy. Just a boy. He looked young, maybe 16 Earth years old. He wore simple clothes, a school uniform. He had black hair and a thin build. Nothing special. Nothing threatening. But he was walking straight toward the Voktar warriors while everyone else fled. Raxel watched the boy approach. The other warriors noticed too. They stopped scanning the area and turned their attention to the strange human child. What was he doing? Was he stupid? Was he in shock? The boy stopped about 10 meters away from Raxel. He stood there calmly. His hands were empty. He carried no weapon. He showed no sign of fear. He just looked at them with dark eyes that seemed to see right through their armor. Boy, Raxel said in the human language. The Voktar had studied Earth's languages. They always learned the local language before invasion. It made the threats more personal. Where is your leader? Where are your warriors? The boy did not answer right away. He just looked at Raxel. Then he looked at the other warriors. Then he looked up at the massive ship in the sky. Finally, he looked back at Raxel. They're coming, the boy said. His voice was calm, too calm. But I wanted to see you first. Raxel felt something strange, confusion. In all his years of conquest, no civilian had ever approached him like this. They ran, they screamed, they cried, they begged. But they did not walk calmly toward armed warriors and speak like they were having a normal conversation. What is your name, boy? Raxel asked. Jinho, the boy said. Well, Jinho, Raxel said, taking a step forward. You should be running with the others. You should be hiding. Do you know who we are? Yes, Jinho said. You're the Voktar, warriors from the Galactic Council. You've come to make us join your government. Raxel nodded slowly. Then you understand. We offer you a choice. Join the council peacefully or we will force you to join. Your planet is weak. Your technology is primitive. You cannot fight us. No one can fight us? I know, Jinho said. Then kneel, Raxel commanded. His voice was hard like stone. He raised one of his forearms and pulled out a weapon. It looked like a sword, but it glowed with blue energy. A plasma blade. It could cut through steel like paper. Kneel before the council. Show us that humanity knows how to submit. Kneel, or I will kill you right here. The other Voktar warriors moved closer. They surrounded the boy. 12 armed warriors against one unarmed child. It was not even a fair fight. It was an execution waiting to happen. Jinho looked at the plasma blade. He looked at the warriors surrounding him. He looked at Raxel's glowing yellow eyes. Then he did something that Raxel had never seen before in all his years of conquest. Jinho smiled. It was not a scared smile. It was not a nervous smile. It was a real smile. A knowing smile. A smile that said he understood something that Raxel did not. No, Jinho said simply. Raxel felt anger rise in him. How dare this weak creature refuse? How dare this boy smile at him? You do not understand, Raxel said, his voice getting louder. I am not asking. I am commanding. Kneel or you will die. Right now. Right here. I will cut you down where you stand. Jinho's smile did not fade. I understand perfectly. You want me to be afraid. You want me to kneel because you think showing force makes you strong. But you don't understand something important. What? Raxel demanded. What could you possibly know that I do not? You don't know what humans are, Jinho said. You looked at our planet. You saw our technology. You think we're weak, but you never asked the important question. What question? Raxel asked, despite himself. You never asked how we survived this long on Earth, Jinho said. His smile grew wider. You never asked what kind of creatures could survive on a world like this. In the distance, sirens grew louder. Helicopters appeared in the sky. Military vehicles rushed toward the area. But Raxel barely noticed. He was focused on the boy, on that smile. On those words, something was wrong. Something was very wrong. This was not how conquests went. This was not how weak species acted. Last chance, boy, Raxel said. He raised his plasma blade higher. Kneel or die. Jinho stood straight. He did not move. He did not kneel. He just kept smiling that strange, knowing smile. Go ahead, Jinho said quietly. Try. And in that moment, Raxel realized something terrifying. This was not fear he was feeling. This was not confusion. This was something he had not felt in many years. This was doubt. The moment stretched between them like a rubber band pulled too tight. Raxel held his plasma blade above the human boy's head. One movement and it would be over. One strike and this strange child would be dead. But Raxel did not strike. Something stopped him. That smile, that calm, that complete lack of fear. Raxel had killed thousands of beings across the galaxy. He knew what fear looked like. He knew the smell of it, the sound of it in breathing, the way eyes moved when death was close. This boy showed none of it. Why? Before Raxel could decide what to do, military vehicles surrounded them. Soldiers jumped out, weapons pointed at the Vokhtar warriors. They did not fire. They were smart enough to know that starting a fight with aliens would end badly. But they were there, ready. A woman stepped forward from one of the vehicles. She was older than the boy, maybe 30 years old. She wore a white coat over professional clothes. She had short black hair and carried no weapon. She walked forward slowly, hands raised to show she meant no harm. I am Dr. Sora, she said in a clear voice. I am a scientist. I study alien life. Please do not hurt the boy. Raxel looked at her. Another human. Another potential victim. This boy refuses to obey. He refuses to kneel. He will die for his disobedience. He is just a child, Dr. Sora said. He does not speak for humanity. Please let him go. Let us talk to our leaders. Let us do this properly. Raxel was about to answer when Jinho raised his hand. Dr. Sora, stop. The scientist looked at the boy with surprise. Jinho, what are you doing? Get away from them. They need to understand, Jinho said. He kept his eyes on Raxel. They came here thinking we are like the other species they conquered. But we are not. Boy, you speak too much, Raxel growled. His patience was ending. I have given you many chances. Now you will... Tell me something, Jinho interrupted. Interrupting a Vokhtar commander was an insult worth death. But the boy did it anyway. What gravity did your species evolve under? The question was so strange that Raxel stopped. What? Your planet, Jinho said. What is its gravity compared to Earth? Dr. Sora's eyes went wide. She understood what Jinho was doing. Answer him, Raxel said to one of his warriors. A warrior checked a device. Their planet has gravity of 0.7 standard. Earth has gravity of 1.0 standard. So your planet is lighter than ours, Jinho said. Easier to move on. Easier to live on. What about your atmosphere? Oxygen level is normal, the warrior reported. Earth's oxygen level is 0.21. Very high. High oxygen made Earth's creatures bigger and stronger, Jinho said. What about temperature? Radiation? Natural disasters? Dr. Sora stepped closer. The Vokhtar homeworld is classified as a paradise world. Stable temperature. Low radiation. Few natural disasters. Earth is classified as a death world. Extreme temperatures. High radiation. Constant natural disasters. More humans began to gather. Despite the danger, they came closer. A soldier named Daehyun moved forward. He was big, muscular, trained for combat, but even he looked small next to the Vokhtar. Yet he showed no fear. A scientist named Minji joined Dr. Sora. She pulled out a tablet computer and began showing data. The Vokhtar evolved on an easy world. Humans evolved on one of the hardest worlds in the galaxy. Our gravity crushes most alien species. Our oxygen levels are toxic to many species. Our temperature swings kill others. A construction worker named Hyunwoo walked up too. He was covered in dust from his job. His hands were rough and scarred. "We grew up in this," he said simply. "This is normal to us." Raxel looked around. More humans were coming. They were not running anymore. They were gathering. They were watching. And none of them looked scared. Not the way they should be. "So what?" Raxel demanded. "Your planet is harsh. That means nothing. We have weapons. We have technology. We have conquered 17 planets. Against species from soft worlds," Jinho said. "Species that evolved in comfortable places. Species that never had to fight for survival like we did. We are warriors," Raxel roared. "We train from birth. We fight, we conquer." "But you never had to survive," Jinho said quietly. "Not like us." Dr. Sora pulled up more data on her tablet. "Humans evolved as persistence hunters. Do you know what that means?" Raxel said nothing. "It means we did not kill prey by being faster or stronger," she explained. "We killed prey by never stopping. We chased animals for hours, for days sometimes. We ran until they collapsed from exhaustion. Then we killed them. We are not the fastest species. We are not the strongest. But we never stop." Daehyun the soldier spoke up. "We also survived ice ages, volcanic winters, meteor impacts, diseases that killed millions, wars that killed millions more. We survived all of it," Minji added. "Our planet tried to kill us for millions of years. But we adapted. We changed. We learned. And we survived." Hyunwoo raised his scarred hands. "Every human you see has survived Earth. That alone makes us tougher than most species in your galaxy. We do not know any other way to live." Raxel felt something he had not felt in a long time. Uncertainty. These humans were small. They were weak-looking. Their technology was primitive. But the way they talked, the way they stood, the way they looked at him without fear, it was wrong. It should not be possible. "You are still just one planet," Raxel said. "One world against the entire Galactic Council. You cannot win." "We are not trying to win," Gino said. "We are just telling you the truth. You came here to make us kneel. You think threatening to kill one boy will make millions of humans submit, but you do not understand what you are threatening." "What am I threatening?" Raxel asked, his anger returning. "A species that survived its own planet," Jinho said. "A species that fought and killed each other for thousands of years and still survived. A species that built nuclear weapons strong enough to destroy our own world, and we still chose not to use them. You think your plasma blade scares me? Humans have invented worse ways to die than anything you can imagine, and we survived all of them." The other Vokhtar warriors shifted uncomfortably. They were trained for combat. They were trained for conquest. But they were not trained for this. For prey that did not act like prey. Raxel lowered his blade slightly. "You are brave, boy. I will give you that. But bravery without power is just stupidity." Jinho's smile never faded. "Then test it. See if I am stupid. See if humans break as easily as you think." In the sky above, more ships appeared. But these were not alien ships. These were human ships. Military craft. Defense satellites activating. Missile systems coming online. Earth was showing its teeth. Dr. Sora looked at Raxel. "You wanted to meet our warriors. They are coming. But understand this, every human you see is a warrior. We all survived Earth. That makes us harder to break than you think." Raxel looked at the boy, then at the gathering humans, then at the military forces assembling around him, then back at Jinho's smile. For the first time in his long career as a conqueror, Raxel wondered if he had made a terrible mistake. Raxel made his decision. Words meant nothing. These humans talked about their harsh world and their survival. But talk was cheap. Action was what mattered. He would prove to them what real warriors were. "Enough talk," Raxel declared. He pointed his plasma blade at Jinho. "Boy, you say humans do not break easily. You say you are not afraid. Let us test that claim. I challenge you to single combat. You against me. No weapons, no help, just strength against strength. The humans around them reacted. Soldiers raised their weapons. Dr. Sora shouted, "No!" Daehyun moved to step forward. But Jinho raised his hand again, stopping them all. "I accept," Jinho said calmly. "Jinho, don't be stupid," Dr. Sora yelled. "He will kill you." "Look at him. He is 3 times your size." "I know," Jinho said. "But this is important. He needs to learn." "Learn what?" Daehyun demanded. "That humans can die?" "We already know that." "No," Jinho said. "He needs to learn what it takes to actually make us stop." Raxel smiled. Good. The boy had courage at least. That would make the lesson more effective. He deactivated his plasma blade and handed all his weapons to his warriors. If he was going to break this human, he would do it with his bare hands. It would be more impressive that way. The Vokhtar warriors formed a circle. The human soldiers did the same, though they looked worried. A space opened up between them. A fighting ring. Jinho stood on one side. Raxel stood on the other. "The rules are simple," Raxel announced. "We fight until one of us cannot continue. No weapons. No outside help. Surrender is allowed. Death is possible. Do you understand, boy?" "I understand," Jinho said. He removed his school jacket and handed it to Dr. Sora. Under it, he wore just a simple white shirt. He looked even smaller without the jacket. A thin human boy against a massive alien warrior. It should not even be called a fight. "Last chance to kneel," Raxel offered. "Kneel now and I will spare you." Jinho rolled his shoulders. "Come on then. Show me what a galactic warrior can do," Raxel charged. He was fast. Years of training and enhanced muscles made him move like lightning. He closed the distance in seconds and swung his massive fist at Jinho's head. The blow had enough force to shatter concrete. If it connected, the boy's skull would break like an egg. Jinho moved. Not fast. Not with any special technique. He just leaned back and let the fist pass by his face. Then he stepped to the side as Raxel's second fist came down. Then he ducked under a third strike. And a fourth. The humans watching held their breath. The boy was dodging. But for how long? Raxel pressed his attack. He used all 4 arms, striking from different angles. High, low, left, right. A combination that had defeated countless opponents. But the boy kept moving. Kept dodging. Not perfectly. Some strikes came close. Some brushed his clothes. But none connected solidly. "Stop running," Raxel roared. "Fight!" "Okay," Jinho said. He stopped dodging. He let the next punch hit him. Raxel's fist slammed into Jinho's chest with terrible force. The sound echoed across the street like thunder. Every human watching expected to see the boy fly backward. Expected to see him crumple. Expected to see him die. Jinho stumbled back 3 steps. Then he stopped. He stood up straight. He looked at Raxel, and he smiled. "That hurt," Jinho said. "But I am still standing," Raxel stared. That was impossible. That punch should have shattered ribs, should have collapsed lungs, should have killed the boy. But he was standing. He was breathing. He was smiling. "Again," Jinho said. Raxel hit him again. Harder this time. The boy's head snapped to the side. Blood appeared at his lip. But he did not fall. He turned his head back and looked at Raxel. "Again," Jinho repeated. Raxel struck again and again. Body blows. Head strikes. Combinations. Everything in his training. The boy took the hits. He bled. He bruised. But he did not fall. He did not break. He just kept standing. Kept looking at Raxel with those dark eyes. Kept smiling, that knowing smile. Dr. Sora was crying. Other humans looked away. They could not watch their child be beaten. But Minji, the scientist, was recording everything. Her face was serious. "His bone density," she whispered to Daehyun. "Earth's gravity made us develop bones twice as dense as most species. Our pain tolerance is much higher. Our healing is faster. He can take this punishment." Finally, Raxel stopped. Not because the boy was beaten, but because Raxel was breathing hard. His arms hurt from hitting something so solid. This was wrong. The boy should be broken by now. "My turn?" Jinho asked. Blood dripped from his nose and mouth. Bruises covered his face. But he was still standing. Still conscious. Still ready. Before Raxel could respond, Jinho moved. Not fast, just steady. He walked forward and punched Raxel in the stomach. It was not a fancy punch. Just a simple, straight hit. But it carried the weight of a creature adapted to high gravity. It carried the force of dense muscles and heavy bones. Raxel felt it. Actually felt it, pain, real pain. something he rarely experienced through his scales and armor. Jinho punched again and again, not fast combinations like Raxel had used, just steady, heavy blows, each one landing, each one hurting. Raxel tried to block, but the boy did not stop, did not get tired, just kept punching with mechanical consistency. "Stop," Raxel commanded, but Jinho did not stop. Raxel tried to back away, but Jinho followed, step by step, punch by punch, never rushing, never slowing, just constant terrible pressure. "This is what we are," Jinho said between punches. "We do not stop. We do not quit. You can hurt us. You can make us bleed, but you cannot make us break." Not easily, Raxel tried to run. It was shameful. It was disgraceful. But survival instinct took over. He turned and ran. His superior speed should have saved him, should have let him escape. But Jinho just kept coming, not running, walking, that steady, terrible walk. And slowly, impossibly, he started to catch up, because Raxel was getting tired. His muscles, adapted to lower gravity, were burning. His lungs, adapted to thinner air, were struggling. His body, adapted to an easy world, was failing. Jinho's body, adapted to a death world, just kept going. The other Vaktar warriors watched in horror as their commander, the mighty Raxel, was pursued by a bleeding human boy, watched as their champion retreated, watched as the natural order of things broke before their eyes. Finally, Raxel collapsed. Not from injury, from exhaustion. His legs gave out and he fell to his knees. He gasped for air. His forearms shook. He could not fight anymore, could not run anymore, could not do anything but kneel there and try to breathe. Jinho walked up to him, stood over him. The boy was bleeding, bruised, hurt, but he was standing, and Raxel was on his knees. "You told me to kneel," Jinho said quietly, "but here you are, on your knees, not because I am stronger, not because I am faster, but because I do not stop. Because I cannot be broken easily, because that is what Earth made us." Jinho extended his hand, not to strike. "To help, get up," Jinho said. "This does not have to be about who kneels to who. It can be about understanding each other." Raxel looked at the offered hand, small, human, covered in blood, but steady, not shaking, still strong after everything. For the first time in his life, the great warrior Raxel truly understood what fear felt like, and what respect felt like. They felt exactly the same. The news of what happened in Seoul spread across Earth in minutes. It spread across the galaxy in hours. A human boy had defeated a Vaktar commander in single combat, not through trickery, not through weapons, through pure endurance. The video was everywhere. Humans celebrated. Aliens watched in confusion and concern. The Galactic Council convened an emergency meeting. They sat in their great chamber on the council station, orbiting a neutral star system. Representatives from 100 different species gathered. They had all seen the video. They all had questions, and they all looked at the Vaktar delegation with doubt. But the council decided to escalate. They sent more ships to Earth. They sent their highest military commander, Thelkor. If Raxel had failed, then stronger measures were needed. The council had never backed down from a primitive world before. They would not start now. On Earth, humanity prepared. Not for war exactly, but for something. Governments met in secret. Military forces mobilized. Scientists compiled data. And normal people like Jinho, went about their lives with a strange calm, because they knew something the council did not. 3 days after the fight in Seoul, the council's main fleet arrived at Earth. 200 ships. Enough firepower to level a planet. Enough troops to occupy a world. It was meant to be overwhelming, meant to terrify, meant to make resistance impossible. Ambassador Yuna stood in Earth's orbital station, looking at the fleet through the window. She was 40 years old, a career diplomat. She had spent 20 years preparing for first contact, but not like this. She had hoped for peaceful meetings, for cultural exchange, for friendship among the stars. Instead, she got threats and intimidation. "They are requesting to meet with Earth's leaders," her assistant said. "Tell them I will meet with them," Yuna replied. "Here, on our station, not on their ships." "They might refuse," the assistant warned. "Then let them refuse," Yuna said. "We will not dance to their tune." To her surprise, they agreed. High Commander Thelkor came to the Earth station with a small guard. He was even bigger than Raxel. His scales were darker, almost black. His eyes were cold and calculating. He looked at the human station with disdain. "This is your best facility?" Thelkor asked. "Primitive. Barely functional. It works for us," Una said politely. "Please sit. Let us talk." They sat across from each other in a meeting room. Other humans were present. Minji, the scientist, a military general named Kiwon, a technology expert named Xiongho, and sitting in the corner quietly watching was Jinho. His face was still bruised from the fight, but he had insisted on being there. "Let me be clear," Thelkor began. "What happened with Raxel was unfortunate. He underestimated your species. We will not make that mistake again. The Council's position has not changed. Earth will join the Galactic Council. You will follow our laws. You will pay tribute. You will provide soldiers and resources. This is not negotiable. And if we refuse?" General Kiwon asked. "Then we will occupy your planet by force," Thelkor said simply. "We have done it before. 200 ships orbit your world right now. You have perhaps 20 military craft that could reach space. The outcome is obvious," Una nodded slowly. "You are right. In a direct military conflict, we would lose. We know this. Then you will surrender," Thelkor said. "I did not say that," Una replied. "I said we would lose a direct military conflict. But that assumes we would fight you directly." Thelkor leaned forward. "What are you implying?" Minji opened her tablet. "Commander, you have conquered 17 planets. May I ask about those planets?" "What about them?" Thelkor demanded. "What were their classifications?" Minji asked. "What type of worlds were they?" Thelkor looked annoyed but answered. "Paradise worlds. Garden worlds. Comfortable environments. Why does it matter?" "Because Earth is classified as a death world," Minji said. "Only 0.3% of planets in the galaxy are death worlds. Species that evolve on them are rare. Very rare." Xiongho, the technology expert, pulled up more data. "Let me tell you what we discovered when we started studying your Galactic Council. Every species in the Council comes from easy worlds. Worlds with stable climates. Worlds with abundant resources. Worlds where survival was not a daily struggle. So," Thelkor said, "that makes us civilized, advanced." "It makes you soft," Jinho said from the corner. Everyone looked at him. "The boy who had defeated Raxel. You never had to be tough. Never had to adapt to harsh conditions. Never had to survive when everything was trying to kill you." General Kiwon stood up. He was an older man, scarred from many battles. "Commander, let me tell you about human history. We have been fighting each other for thousands of years. Wars that killed millions. Weapons that could destroy cities. We invented chemicals that burn skin. Diseases that spread like wildfire. Nuclear bombs that turn entire regions into wastelands. We did all of this to each other. And yet you survived," Thelkor observed. "Exactly," General Kiwon said. "We survived. Do you know how hard it is to completely eliminate humans? We have tried to eliminate ourselves for centuries. We failed. We are very hard to kill." Una pulled up a document. "This is our analysis of your occupation strategies. You arrive with overwhelming force. You destroy the main military. You occupy the major cities. The government surrenders. The population submits. It works because the species you conquer have no experience with insurgency, with guerrilla warfare, with resistance that never ends. You are threatening us with terrorism?" Thelkor asked, his voice dangerous. "We are explaining reality," Una said calmly. "You can occupy our cities, but we have 7 billion humans spread across every continent. We have mountains, forests, deserts, oceans. We have humans who live in all of these places. You would need to control all of it. All the time, forever," Minji added. "And we know how to hide, how to fight from the shadows. How to make your occupation so expensive, so exhausting, so endless that you will eventually leave, because that is what humans do. We outlast threats. We endure, we wait, and we never ever stop." Xiongho showed battle simulations. "Your ships are powerful, but they need supplies. They need maintenance. They need food and fuel and parts. All of that has to come from somewhere. Your supply lines would stretch across light years, and we would attack those lines. Not big attacks, small ones, constant ones, everywhere, all the time. You would lose millions," Thelkor said. "We know," General Kiwon replied. "We have lost millions before. We are very good at continuing despite terrible losses. Can your species handle a war that lasts decades? Centuries? Can your economy support an occupation that never ends?" Jinho stood up and walked to the window. He looked at the council fleet. You think those ships make you strong? But they are also your weakness. You depend on them. You depend on your technology. But we have survived with far less. We can go back to basics if we need to. Can you? Thelkor was quiet for a long moment. He looked at each human in the room. They were not threatening him. They were not shouting. They were just explaining, calmly and logically, why occupying Earth would be a disaster. You are bluffing, Thelkor finally said. You would not sacrifice your whole planet just to resist us. You are right, Yuna said. We do not want war. We do not want to resist. We want to join the galactic community, but as equals, not as subjects, not as slaves, as partners. The Council does not accept partners, Thelkor said. Only members. And members obey. Then the Council needs to change, Yuna said simply. Because humanity will not kneel. We will cooperate. We will contribute. We will help. But we will not submit to threats. That is not who we are. Thelkor stood up. I will relay this to the Council. But I promise you they will not be pleased. Neither are we, Yuna replied. But here we are. Two civilizations that need to figure out how to coexist. I suggest we find a better way than threats and violence. As Thelkor left, Jinho spoke quietly. He is scared. How do you know? Minji asked. Because he is thinking now instead of just acting, Jinho said. That is good. Maybe now they will listen. The Galactic Council debated for 2 weeks. In that time, the fleet stayed at Earth. No attacks came. No threats were made. But the tension remained. 200 ships in orbit, 7 billion humans on the surface, everyone waiting. During those 2 weeks, something unexpected happened. Individual Vokhtar warriors started requesting permission to visit Earth's surface, not as conquerors, as observers. Raxel was the first. He asked to meet Jinho again. They met in a park in Seoul, a simple, peaceful place with trees and grass. Children played nearby. Old people sat on benches. Life continued as if giant alien warships were not hanging in the sky above them. This too confused Raxel. How could these humans remain so calm? You wanted to see me? Jinho asked. His bruises had faded. He looked like a normal boy again. I wanted to understand, Raxel said. He sat on a bench that was too small for him. When we fought, I felt something I have never felt before. I need to know what it was. What did it feel like? Jinho asked. Fear, Raxel admitted. Not fear of dying, fear of something I could not stop. You did not fight me with anger. You did not try to destroy me. You just kept going, like water flowing around a rock, constant, inevitable, unstoppable. Jinho sat down next to him. That is what Earth taught us. Our planet kills with storms and earthquakes and diseases. You cannot fight a storm with anger. You cannot punch an earthquake. You just survive it, wait for it to pass, then rebuild, then keep going. But you fought me, Raxel said. No, Jinho corrected. I endured you. There is a difference. Fighting is about destroying your opponent. Enduring is about lasting longer than the threat. I knew I could not destroy you. But I knew I could outlast you. And I was right. Raxel watched the children playing. Your young ones. They play without fear. My children are trained from birth to fight, to be strong, to conquer. But yours just play. They are still learning, Jinho said. But they are learning the most important lesson. How to get back up after falling. How to try again after failing. How to keep smiling even when things are hard. Earth teaches everyone this lesson. Child or adult, poor or rich, weak or strong, we all learn to endure. A little girl ran up to them. She looked at Raxel with wide eyes. Are you an alien? She asked. Yes, Raxel said, unsure how to respond. Cool, the girl said. Do you want to play? She held up a ball. Raxel looked at Jinho, confused. Jinho just smiled. She's not afraid of you, he explained. To her, you are just someone new and interesting. Maybe that is another lesson. The girl waited. Raxel took the ball carefully in one of his 4 hands. She laughed with delight. You have 4 hands. That is amazing. Bet you are good at catching. As Raxel awkwardly played ball with the child, something changed in him. These creatures were not weak. They were not primitive. They were something else entirely, something his warrior culture had never encountered. They were gentle but unbreakable, kind but resilient. They offered friendship even to those who threatened them. More Vaktar visited Earth. They met scientists, soldiers, workers, teachers, parents, children. They expected to find weaklings preparing for conquest. Instead, they found people going about their lives with quiet strength. People who had survived Earth every day of their existence. People who considered harsh conditions normal. One warrior visited a construction site. Hyunwoo, the construction worker, showed him around. The warrior was shocked to see humans working in extreme heat, lifting heavy materials, operating dangerous equipment, and they did it without enhancement. Without armor, just their natural bodies adapted to brutal conditions. Another warrior visited a hospital. Dr. Sora showed him the medical wing. The warrior learned that human bodies could heal from injuries that would cripple other species, that humans regularly survived diseases that would kill most aliens, that human medicine was built around the assumption that patients were incredibly tough to kill. One by one, the Vaktar warriors returned to their ships with the same message. These humans are different. They are not weak. They are dangerous in a way we never expected. Finally, the Galactic Council made their decision. They invited Ambassador Yuna to their station, not to demand surrender, but to negotiate. Yuna traveled to the council station with her team. Minji, General Kiwon, Sungho, and Genho. The boy had become a symbol. The council wanted to see him, wanted to understand the human who defeated their warrior. They entered the Great Council chamber. Representatives from 100 species stared at them. The humans looked small in that vast space, but they walked with confidence, with dignity, with that knowing smile that Jinho had made famous. The council speaker, an ancient being from a species that looked like floating crystals, addressed them. Humans of Earth, we have studied your species. We have spoken with our warriors. We have reviewed the evidence, and we have reached a conclusion. The chamber went silent. Yuna stood straight, ready for anything. You are not suitable for standard membership in the council, the speaker continued. Yuna's heart sank. So they would fight after all. You are suitable for something else, the speaker said. The council was formed 3,000 years ago by species from paradise worlds and garden worlds. We created laws based on our experiences, our understanding of strength and weakness, but you have shown us that our understanding was incomplete. The speaker floated forward. Species from death worlds are rare. Only 12 have been discovered in council space. Most died before reaching civilization, but you survived. You thrived. You became something unique. Strong without being cruel, tough without being violent, resilient without being rigid. The Council offers Earth a new position, not as a subject world, not as a standard member, but as a guardian world. You will have equal representation in Council votes. You will not pay tribute. You will not be occupied. In exchange, you will help us understand survival, endurance, adaptation, things your death world taught you that our paradise worlds never could. Yuna could barely believe it. You are offering us equality? We are offering respect, the speaker said. Raxel was right to fear you. Not because you are violent, but because you represent something we cannot conquer, cannot break, cannot eliminate. You are the water that flows around the rock, the grass that grows through concrete, the species that survives no matter what. Jinho stepped forward. And you will stop threatening other worlds? The chamber stirred. A human child questioning the council. We will reconsider our methods, the speaker said carefully. You have taught us that strength comes in many forms. Perhaps conquest is not the only way. Then we accept, Yuna said. Earth will join the Galactic Council as a guardian world. We will share what we know. We will help where we can. But we will never kneel. We would not ask you to, the speaker replied. A species that survived Earth has already proven its worth. As they left the chamber, Raxel waited in the hallway. He approached Jinho. I wanted to ask you something. That day when I threatened to kill you. Why did you smile? Jinho looked at the great warrior. Because I knew something you did not. What? Raxel asked. I knew that no matter what you did to me, humanity would continue, Jinho said. You could kill me. You could kill 1,000 humans. 1,000,000 humans, but you could never kill all of us. We are too spread out. Too adaptable, too stubborn to just die. So I smiled because I knew that even if I fell, Earth would stand. And that was enough. Raxel placed one of his 4 hands on Jinho's shoulder. You are a warrior, boy. Not the kind I was trained to recognize, but a warrior nonetheless. It has been an honor to learn from you. The honor is mine, Jinho said. You listened. You learned. You changed. That takes more courage than any fight. They shook hands. 4 alien hands and 2 human hands. Different species. Different worlds. Different paths. But perhaps finally understanding each other. Earth's flag rose in the council chamber for the first time. Not a flag of conquest, not a flag of submission, but a flag of survival, of endurance, of a species that smiled in the face of threats because they knew one simple truth. They were human, and humans do not break easily.